Welcome to another edition of Self-Defense Across America. All right, we're back with some more defensive use of a firearm stories for you. We're going to start in Washington Courthouse, Ohio, where we had an adult victim who was unharmed, and our suspect, 30-year-old Corey Keaton, adult male, was killed, and this one appears to be a home invasion. A man is dead after what police say was a home invasion in Washington Courthouse. The incident occurred around 11 p.m. on Wednesday when a 911 call came into the police department of a man who reported that he had shot someone in the area of the 1000 block of East Paint Street. When police arrived, they found a man with a gunshot wound to the chest, and shortly after, medics arrived and reported that he had died on the scene. Police reported that it was a possible home invasion that had occurred and the homeowner had shot the man. And then there was an update. The man who was killed was identified as 30-year-old Corey Keaton. The homeowner's name has not been released as a possible victim in the crime. No charges have been filed. So this is a home invasion that happened around 11 p.m. And this ended how a lot of them tend to end these days when the homeowner has a gun. The guy breaking into the place ends up dead. Okay, let's go now to Knoxville, Tennessee, to the East Tennessee Children's Hospital. We have a 17-year-old male who was unharmed. That's our victim. And our suspect, saying significant other, Matthew Green. He's 40 years old. He was injured and arrested. A 40-year-old Oliver Springs man is facing charges including aggravated kidnapping and domestic assault after a shooting in a parking garage at East Tennessee Children's Hospital on Wednesday night. He was shot by his son after allegedly assaulting a woman. According to the Knoxville Police Department, officers responded to the 2100 block of Clinch Avenue on a report of a shooting with a victim around 9:30 p.m. on November 1st. The suspect, identified as 40-year-old Matthew Green of Oliver Springs, had been shot in the leg and was taken to the hospital with a non-life-threatening gunshot wound. Investigators were able to determine that Green had allegedly been actively assaulting a woman who he had a relationship with in the parking lot when he was shot by his son. The son had given Green multiple warnings to stop the assault. Officers also learned that there had been an ongoing domestic dispute involving Green and his family throughout the day prior to the shooting. Charges against Green were already pending out of Oak Ridge, and Green also has a warrant out for Roane County for aggravated assault. No other charges were filed related to the incident, and Green will be taken into custody on his outstanding charges upon his release from the hospital. So this guy, who sounds like he was not a very good person, has a lot of pending charges, is beating up some woman in the parking lot, and his son decides he's going to stop it and shoots him. And he didn't shoot to kill. He shot him, what it sounds like, he shot him in the leg. So the guy will be fine and he will end up in jail. And hopefully they hold him in jail, because likely otherwise we'll be doing a story next week about how they released him on bond and he went out and then he ended up killing the woman who he was beating up and possibly his son who shot him. Okay, let's go to Orlando, Florida, where we have an adult male victim who was unharmed, and our suspect, 45-year-old Derek T. Wilson. And that guy was injured and arrested. A man was shot Wednesday night at a Wawa gas station in Orlando. Police said the shooting happened around 10:40 p.m. inside the Wawa store, John Young Parkway. Oh, in the store of John Young Parkway, that's the name of the street, at the intersection of Silver Star Road. The Orlando Police Department said a man identified as 45-year-old Derek T. Wilson went up to the individuals in the store in a threatening and erratic manner. The victim was acting in self-defense when he shot at the suspect. Multiple witnesses on the scene confirmed. The store reopened early on Thursday, focused on parking, removed evidence. Okay, Wilson faces charges of assault and disorderly conduct. So this guy goes inside a convenience store and he's acting threatening and erratically, and one of the customers in there has a gun on him and shoots the guy. So that is also not an uncommon story. All right, let's go to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, at the Progresso Point Apartments, where our victim is an adult male who was unharmed, and we have 3 suspects. One was injured. They're all adult males. One was injured, and the other 2 were unharmed and arrested. A resident of an apartment building in Fort Lauderdale's Flagler Village neighborhood shot and wounded a home invasion suspect Thursday afternoon. According to the Fort Lauderdale Police Department, the shooting happened at around noon at the Progresso Point Apartments. Investigators said several men entered a unit and attacked the man living there during a struggle. Police say the victim was able to retrieve a gun and shoot one of the suspects. That man was in serious condition after being beaten during the attack. While the men took off before police arrived a short time later, the wounded suspect and another man arrived at Broward Health Medical Center, where they were both taken into custody. Police, who described the attack as an isolated incident, said they were still searching for one additional suspect. People in nearby apartments were asked to remain inside as officers investigated. So 3 guys break into this guy's apartment, and the victim has a gun, manages to shoot at least one of them, and beats the one up, and then they all flee and end up at the hospital and arrested. So 3 people go in and attack one guy, and from what it sounds like, the one guy actually managed to shoot and beat up these 3 guys. That's how it reads, that this one guy was able to do that. So I don't know if he was like Jackie Chan or something in some martial arts film, but let's go on to St. Louis, Missouri. And we got a 37-year-old male victim who was unharmed and arrested. And this looks like a home invasion. The 37-year-old male, the suspect, he was killed in this. And ex-boyfriend shot and killed after couple woke to find him standing. Okay, so this is the ex-boyfriend broke into the house. Police said a man acted in self-defense after he shot and killed an intruder early Friday morning inside a home in North St. Louis. According to the St. Louis Police Department, officers responded to a report of a shooting and burglary just before 1 a.m. Neighborhood police said the 37-year-old man and his 36-year-old girlfriend were asleep in their bed. They woke to find the woman's ex-boyfriend standing over them with a gun pointed at her current boyfriend. The man grabbed his own gun and shot the suspect multiple times. The suspect was pronounced dead at the scene, and the man who shot him was taken into police custody. Both guns were recovered at the scene. Police released the suspect's name Saturday. He was 37-year-old John Bernard, and he lived on Cottage Avenue. Police said in an afternoon update that the man who shot him acted in self-defense, and the shooting appeared to be justifiable homicide. It's no random crime around here. He wasn't surprised. The suspect was known to his neighbors. Our houses don't get broken into. We don't have break-ins. We have elements that come into our neighborhood, and not that often. Friends and loved ones spent Friday stopping by to comfort the victims. I don't like for people to lose their lives, period, but at the same time, because of the circumstances, I understand it, said one of the neighbors. And that's why you shouldn't be going to no one else's house trying to break in and everything, because you never know what's going to be on the other side of that door, said another neighbor. So this sounds like it's a relatively safe neighborhood of St. Louis. And this guy, you know, it's always the ex-boyfriends. And I say this in most of these videos that women, you need to know who you're dating. Because these guys, will be part of your life forever. The wrong ones will be part of your life. The good ones will go away and you'll never hear from them again. But the bad ones will stay in your life forever. You may have forgotten about them, but they have not forgotten about you. And this guy that she dated in the past, you know, potentially could have came in there and killed her and the new boyfriend. And that's a common thing. So know who it is that you're dating. And if it's somebody that you even think down the line could be some, you know, murderous killer, don't, you know, I know a lot of girls like the bad guys, but, you know, they get that reputation for a reason. And when it comes back at you, you know, It's not as cool as it sounded while you were dating them. This is a weekly video, so if you like this type of content, hit that like button, leave your thoughts in the comments, and consider subscribing. And I'll catch you next week.